In Sahih al-Bukhari, 2785, we read, narrated Abu Huraira, a man came to Allah's messenger and said, "Guide me to such a deed as equals jihad in reward." He replied, "I do not find such a deed." If Muhammad couldn't think of a deed equal to jihad, what's the greatest deed in the world, according to Islam? Jihad. How wonderful is jihad? Muhammad tells us in Sahih al-Bukhari 2796. Narrated Anas, the Prophet said, "A single endeavor of fighting in Allah's cause in the afternoon or in the forenoon is better than all the world and whatever is in it." Think of everything you love in this world: puppies, sunsets, music, David Wood videos. Muhammad says that jihad is better than all of it combined. But he goes even further. Sahih al-Bukhari, 2795. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet said, "Nobody who dies and finds good from Allah in the hereafter would wish to come back to this world, even if he were given the whole world and whatever is in it, except the martyr, who, on seeing the superiority of martyrdom, would like to come back to the world and get killed again in Allah's cause." Once you get to paradise and you've got your virgins, the only thing you would ever want to come back to this world for is martyrdom. You'd want to come back and die for Allah all over again, because martyrdom is that awesome. To add an exclamation point to his claims about jihad and martyrdom, Muhammad says in Sahih al-Bukhari 2797, "By him in whose hands my soul is, I would love to be martyred in Allah's cause, and then come back to life, and then get martyred, and then come back to life again, and then get martyred, and then come back to life again, and then get martyred." Now, if Muhammad is the pattern of conduct for Muslims, as Allah declares in Surah 33, verse 21 of the Quran, what should we expect to happen during Islam's holiest month, when Muslims are supposed to turn their attention fully to their religion and how best to serve Allah? We should expect a Ramadan Bombathon, and that's exactly what we get every single year during Ramadan. There were at least 7 bombings today in one country, Iraq. ABC News reports a massive bombing by the Islamic State group outside a popular ice cream parlor in central Baghdad and a rush-hour car bomb in another downtown area killed at least 31 people Tuesday, Iraqi officials said. Later in the day, bombings in and around the Iraqi capital killed 7 more people. The nighttime attack outside the ice cream parlor in the bustling Karata neighborhood killed 17 people and wounded 32, police and health officials said. In the second attack, an explosives-laden car went off during rush hour near the state-run public pension office in Baghdad's busy Shawaka area, killing 14, a police officer said. At least 37 people were wounded in that attack, he added. Later Tuesday, 7 people died and 19 were wounded in 4 separate bombings in and around Baghdad, officials said. The attacks targeted commercial areas and a patrol of Sunni anti-Islamic State tribal fighters, they said. No group immediately claimed those attacks. Also Tuesday, a suicide bomber attacked a military patrol in the town of Hit in Iraq's western Anbar province, killing at least 8 people and wounding 10, including security force members, 2 security officials said. Think about the violence we've seen in just the last 10 days. A suicide bomber targeted Ariana Grande fans in Manchester, Great Britain. Gunmen targeted Coptic Christians on their way to a monastery in Egypt and distributed Ramadan flyers to the survivors. A suicide bomber targeted security forces in Afghanistan. Dozens killed in the Philippines as jihadis tried to impose Sharia. Multiple bombings in Iraq. These attacks are occurring in very different parts of the world: Great Britain, Egypt, Afghanistan, Iraq, the Philippines, different ethnicities, different languages, different forms of government. And yet, people in all of these areas are being slaughtered in the name of Allah. What's the connection? The teachings of Muhammad are the connecting factor. How intelligent do you need to be to notice this connection? How intelligent do you need to be to notice a connection between, on the one hand, a prophet telling his followers that the greatest thing in the world is dying while slaughtering unbelievers and hypocrites, and, on the other hand, his followers going out and dying while slaughtering unbelievers and hypocrites? A moron could understand this, right? If you can cook a pack of ramen noodles in the microwave, you can figure out jihad with absolutely no problem whatsoever. So why is jihad so incredibly confusing to our leaders and reporters and educators and actors? Well, there's more to the human mind than just reason. Human beings also possess the faculty of will. If our minds aren't ordered properly, we can will ourselves into imbeciles. Politicians and reporters and educators and actors are willfully stupid. They weren't born this stupid. They ignore the obvious by sheer power of will. Now, being willfully ignorant of some topic usually doesn't affect the world that much. If you stubbornly refused to pay attention when your teacher explained the Pythagorean theorem, the rest of us will probably never notice. But in some cases, willful ignorance comes at a cost. The price of willful ignorance about jihad is endless death. Every politician, every reporter, every educator, every actor who rushes to defend Muhammad and the Quran after every terrorist attack is providing ideological cover for the next wave of terrorists. So fasten your seatbelts, because the Ramadan Bombathon is just getting started.